V6. Nothing banging or clattering or knocking in the engine at all, as you can hear. Okay, that's the first piece off. We're going to take this thing apart. We're going to strip it right down. Take everything good out of it. Take out the engine, take out the transmission. We're going to take off the wheels. We're going to take off the doors. We're going to take off the fenders. We're going to take off. We're going to strip it. We're going to strip it and save all the parts. And it's a true parting out. And there's the first piece right there. Okay. Wish me luck. Okay, so I made it a little ways in this disassembly. I've got the bumper cover off. That took quite a while to get that off without breaking it, you know, to go in, and there's lots of little screws up in under the fender wells and stuff. So I got that all out without breaking it, and I got these splash guards out without breaking them. And that's probably the biggest challenge of the whole vehicle, probably. Just, you know, the rest I've done, but those plastic covers, man, they break easy, and I didn't want to break them. So okay, so got myself set up here. I got this little I came upon this bench a while back, and I picked it up, and you know, where I'm doing a little job, instead of, you know, always working on the ground, got this little bench, and it's just, you know, I can roll it by myself, or two people can move it easily, you know, and that's a handy little workbench. And yeah, just basic tools going on here. Got a few things out, a few different components, just trying to keep track of them. And show you over here, got the headlights out. I got those fender wells out. And this bumper cover. Yeah, this is I mean, they're not made of much, and you know that. All modern vehicles have these things, but wow, they ever got them screwed on there. Okay, and so I'm just working my way from the front. I'm draining the coolant out there. Okay, so I'm going to carry on. Got this much done yesterday. Those guards out. Got out the condenser and the radiator, coolant reservoirs, and got her jacked up here in the front. Now we're just going to keep digging in here. I'm going to disconnect the brakes and the axle shafts and whatnot, and get ready to yank that engine out of there. Okay, so to loosen that axle nut, what I've done is I've jammed a piece of steel rod against the ground there. See that? And I got a big socket on there. It's a metric size, but 1.25 inches fits it. So it's real close. It's a little sloppier than the metric, but it does turn it. And I got a 3/4 drive. You don't need necessarily a 3/4 drive set up, because most people don't have 3/4 drive, and that's how it's done. Lock that between the studs and the ground like that, and turn this down. I've already loosened it, but there it goes. Okay, so I've got a little further along here. Okay, so what I did yesterday was I got out the axles and working on the disconnecting everything around the engine so I can pull the engine out. Now, what you might have noticed here, there's no piece across here anymore. The frame pieces, I cut it out. I was trying to save it. I was thinking maybe somebody might want to buy it, you know, as a body piece, but it's all welded in. Like, I thought it might be just bolted in around the corner here, but it's welded in. So it's of no consequence, because what I'm going to do is, once I strip everything out of this thing, the carcass is going to the metal bin, right? So it's going to be just recycled. So, I mean, if there's a savable part that can be sold, I'll try and do that, but in this case, like even this frame here has all been welded. It's spot welded in place. I took all the bolts out of here yesterday. You know, there was a bracket and whatnot on here, but Anyway, long story short, what I've done is I've cut this piece of metal out of the front here to make accessing the engine a lot easier, because it's not going back in there. You know, this engine's going to come out of here the last time, and that'll be it. The other thing I've decided to do, it's pretty hard to reach down in the back here, you know, to disconnect what I have to get at. So I've decided I'm going to take out the intake manifold. That's sort of a thing you would have to do on a 3-liter Ford engine anyway. To access the other cylinder head, there's one here and the other one's back in there. You know, even to change the spark plugs on these things, you have to take out the intake manifold. So yeah, it would have to come out at some point anyway, you know, if you were going to work on it. So it's not that big a deal. I'm going to take the intake manifold off, set it aside, and that'll allow me access to reach down in the back and get at everything I need to. And like I say, I've taken care to remove the wiring harness. You know, that was run across the front here, like in behind this frame. So I took all that off. I didn't just hack it and cut it. And I'm disconnecting most everything as I go instead of just cutting the wires. Yeah, so I'm trying to be careful. And yeah, this is not really a how-to. That's why I'm not showing you every step. This is a how it was and where it and what it is. This is not a how-to, but if you can, get some information about how to take an engine out based on this video, then help yourself. This is more of a chronology of what happened and how it went. So here we go. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I'm rather enjoying this, kind of thing I like digging into, exploring, and kind of a funny little setup they've got here on these 3-liter engines. A camshaft, one of the camshafts is in here. There's 4 camshafts. There's 2 in under each valve cover. There's one here, and 2 back there. And off of this camshaft, there's a pulley that comes out here, and it runs the water pump. See that little Mickey Mouse belt they've got in here, and that runs the water pump. That's how they do it. It's just really funny. And anyway, I'm going to carry on. I just wanted to take a short video before I pull the manifold off. I've gone around here and I've just disconnected all the hoses and connections on the back of the manifold, and I'm just taking out these bolts, and I'm going to lift that off in a second. All right. And there it is. Just like that. Put that up in there for now. And right away, before I drop something in these holes, I'm going to get some rags down in there. That makes it so much easier to get at, all in the back there. Look at that. Yeah, to get at these coils and these spark plug holes, anytime you would service one of these engines, you got to take this off. You got to take that intake manifold off to get at them. Okay, I just have to do some complaining here. Look where the starter is. Can you see the starter? That's the starter right here, right there. You see it? Look at that, it's buried. I mean, you got coolant pipes up over it. This is factory wiring too. It's just jammed down between the starter and this little bracket here. You can't even move it. I just can't imagine having to change the starter on this thing. I mean, I've got half the engine taken apart and I still can't get to the starter. I mean, that's a design for you. Wow. I mean, like, look at this. There's the lead coming off the starter. It does this hard bend and it comes right up in here. Like, it's jammed up against the edge, a sharp edge of the back of the starter there. Like, who was thinking this out, Wow. I mean, I know I'm not the first to complain about this stuff, but just look at that. Oh, your starter's defective. That'll be $9,000 to change it. Oh, man. I couldn't imagine. Like, who would design that? Who did that? Okay, I'm done for now. Okay, so I took the thermostat housing out. Got that out of the way. It allows me to get in there a little better. Now, of course, just to lift out the engine and transmission in one piece, you don't have to take all this out. It'll all come out without it. But since I'm doing some exploring here anyway, I figured I would take this out and see if I can. I'm going to try and get the starter off the engine so I can reach down in there. And if not, I'm not going to. I'll put it to you that way. But yeah, this is amazing. Who thought this was a good idea? Who thought all that jammed in there like that was a good idea? Wow, man, that's unbelievable.